validation, now I validate myself. Building inner strength, putting doubt up on the shelf. No more unnecessary drama, no more wasted time. Climbing higher constantly, making my own climb. Standing on higher ground, where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds. Raising the bar, breaking ground. My network is my net worth. Choose your company wise. Surround yourself with eagles, not with sheep in disguise. Every interaction is a reflection of my brand. Quality over quantity, that's my personal command. Standing on higher ground, where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds. Raising the bar, breaking ground. Whoa. I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision. Cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield. To mediocrity and chaos, I will never yield. I'm manifesting my vision, cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield. To mediocrity and chaos, I will never yield. Standing on higher ground, where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds. Raising the bar, breaking ground. I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision. Cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield. To mediocrity and chaos, I will never yield.
There it goes. How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to This and That. I'm your host, Xander, where we're talking about this, that, and everything in between. Friday is today, May 2025. We're wrapping up June is next month, and that's going to be the last month of the quarter. So we're about to start dipping into quarter 3 coming soon. We have one more week left of May. So today we're going to be talking about how does high living costs affect regular people. We're going to be having an in-depth discussion about this. We're going to go into some ins and outs about it. As y'all see, we took a little bit of time and lined up some of the rest of the week. I didn't put Sunday up there yet. We do have Saturday up there. We have Monday and Tuesday up there. I just have to, I said I was going to do Hong Kong, so I'll get Hong Kong up there for this coming Wednesday, and we'll have Hong Kong up there. So we've got most of the upcoming week ready to be scheduled. So you guys will be able to enjoy hitting that notification button on YouTube if you're on YouTube. But if you're watching us from Twitch and or Twitter, you can come and take a look and see what we got going on. through the YouTube channel, and the push notifications on your phone should notify you that we're going live on YouTube, and then you can just dive in from like Twitch or Twitter or wherever you decide to pop in from. You know, the goal is for us to be more accessible to more people. So make sure that you like and subscribe, hit those notification buttons. If you're watching us from the YouTube channel, you have the reaction buttons over on the right side there. You should be able to utilize those. Any comments that come in from you guys should be seen at the top of the screen. For those of you that dive in, you will also be able to comment in the comment section. I actually found that new feature I was talking to you guys about a few days ago. It is for the 16:9 version. You owe me $50. Hold on. This man, I've been waiting on him to come through. Special shout out to Mr. Satellite. Mr. Satellite.
I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision, cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield. To mediocrity and chaos, I will never yield.
So there you go. You asked for your highlight. He said, give me a highlight reel and I give you $50. All right, there go your highlight reel. So when you dive in, your name all over the screen. You can't say I got one for Bayside too, but he said, who is that? Betty guys, Betty guys star exploded. I'm not pronouncing that one right. Beta guys, based on my pronunciation fashion. One of the stars exploded. Did you get a chance to see that star explode? He was dancing on a nebula while we were doing his nice intro. Did you get to see the star explode, or is the star gone now and you've gotten reports that the star exploded? That's actually very interesting. You know, it's been a while, because last time, the closest that I have gone to, Beetlejuice. Oh, I didn't even think that the G would be a J. Cool. So if you say the star's name 3 times, it's not coming back. Oh, congratulations on seeing that. That's like a once in a lifetime occurrence, to watch a star explode, to watch a black hole form, to watch stuff be sucked into it, to go inside of one. All of those sci-fi shows about what happens if you go into a black hole. It's crazy. It's crazy. Well, technically it's not crazy. It's amazing, but I mean, it's unfathomable by the average individual who has not done any study or consideration as to the possibility of anything other than the one existence that we currently have. So make sure that you guys like and subscribe as y'all come through. Hit that follow button. So today we're going to be talking about that. I told y'all guys a moment ago, we're going to be talking about how this cost of living is going to be hurting everybody. So remember, he said, Gemini said, some chance it Beetlejuice will return into a pulsar or nebula or black hole. So Gemini is claiming that there is some chance that the Beetlejuice star will turn into a pulsar or nebula or potentially a black hole. Wow. I would definitely like to, I'm going to have to do some research on that and see what that's about. Because, you know, I actually love black holes because they're black. I personally believe that black holes are better than glory holes, but I mean, some people would disagree. But anyway, remember that Monday we're supposed to be talking about the Golden Dome of America and how that's going to be negatively impacting the rest of us. And Sunday we have those questions and comments from the fans that's going to be on the show, so you'll be able to see that. He said some people think it might explode for 50 years, but it's not the case. I can't imagine. Well, I guess the dematerialization of the matter might take 50 years, but the explosion in and of itself should take a few seconds. I mean, I understand that some of the people who are thinking it might take 50 years are probably coming from the understanding of like how long it took for Namek to explode, because wasn't that like 40 episodes of Planet Namek exploding? Like Vegeta and Goku and Frieza were fighting to the death for like 5 episodes. It was like the planet should have blew up 3 weeks ago kind of thing. But the actual like disruption of matter in the planet and the beginning of separations of the planet shouldn't take more than a few hours. And then after that, the energy emitted from the explosion might take 50 years to dissipate, and the fragmentation of the planet might take 50 years to completely deform what once was the planet. But I doubt that it takes 50 years for something to go boom. Right. But who am I to know anything about that? I mean, I studied microbiology, not astrology. But what I was saying a moment ago, because I got a lot of topics going on right now, on the 16:9 version of this platform, like the comments go directly onto the screen so that I don't have to manually put them up there. And I think that that's pretty cool. I haven't done a 16:9 format yet. I was tempted to do a 16:9 format today. I might see what I do tomorrow, depending on viewer rates and other such, because I like the 9:16 cutout. It has exactly what I want to have in the background. I might do the 16:9 and just do a different background and do like a 6:9 or a 9:16 cutout in the 16:9 spread out and run it that way, just to see what it looks like, tampering with the things, because since I do everything by going live, I have to go live and sample the product in order to see exactly how well I benefit from it. Then if I don't like it, y'all saw it, so y'all can cue in and let me know whether or not you're good for it or not. I might just do it tomorrow. Do the 16:9 for the questions and comments from the fans on Sundays. So look forward to that. And then remember, we've got the Dome. We've got some budgeting tips on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, we're talking about Hong Kong. So let's go ahead and get this bad boy started. I want to welcome you guys to the show again, since tonight we're not just talking about one, but two of the most important financial challenges facing Americans in 2025. The first, I'm launching the Ultimate Living Expense Challenge. Can we cut our living expenses in half for an entire month? That's right. 50% less spending, 100% more creativity. But while we're talking about money, we're also diving into the topic that can make or break your financial future. Are you ignoring financial red flags in your relationships? Before we dive in, I want you all to take a moment. Think about your own monthly expenses. Could you cut them in half? And are you and your significant other truly on the same financial page? Let's look at the numbers, the trends, and the red flags you can't afford to ignore. The reality check is living expenses by the numbers from May of 2025 is going to be what we're going off of today. So let's get real. According to the latest U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics data, the average American household spends $75,240 in 2024. That's about $6,270 per month in 2025 per dollars. Okay. So that's a lot. $6,270 per month. Now, I told you guys in the Philippines, you can live for $1,000 a month. In Japan, you can live for less than $1,000 a month. Yeah, you got to conform to the laws, rules, and regulations of that country, but you can essentially set it up to where, yeah, you can live for $1,000 or less dollars per month in another country and be comfortable. But to put that into perspective, that's nearly the entire median after taxes. And this is going to negatively impact the income for many families. Here's how it breaks down. Now, housing, 34%, which is typically around about $2,130 a month, which is up percent from last year and up 24% since 2024. Transportation is about 16% of our income, which is around about $1,000 a month. Car payments, insurance, gas, repairs. Food is about 14%. You're looking at $880 per month, with grocery prices up 4.2% in the past year and up 27% since 2020. Utilities and other bills include 8%, which is about $500 a month. Electricity alone is up 13% since 2022. Healthcare, insurance, childcare, entertainment, and more. The rest and these numbers are still climbing. The Consumer Price Index, CPI, shows inflation pushed living costs up 3.2% in just the first half of 2025, because I told y'all them tariffs was going to hurt the poor folk. According to Pew Research, 58% of Americans say their income is not keeping up with rising expenses. Other eye-opening stats include the national median rent of $2,170 per month, which is a 6% jump since last year, up 24% since 2020. Eggs still around $4.60 a dozen. And that's a pretty close price, because I know that if I go to Walmart and get 60 eggs, that's like 4 dozen, right? No, 5 dozen, because a dozen is 12. So 60 eggs is 5 dozen, and you get that for like $13. Roundabout 13 and some change. So $4.60 for 12, or a little under $15 for 60. That's still up 40% from pre-pandemic levels. Gas prices. Y'all remember these gas prices from a few years ago, averaging about $4.13 a gallon nationwide as of May of 2025. And I'm telling y'all, that is the average gas prices, more so leaning towards regular unleaded, like between 87 and 89, not necessarily the 91, 94, and 95 octanes that you can find in certain areas. That's going to cost an extra 60 or 70 cents to the gallon more. Childcare now averages $1,210 per month per child in major metro areas. So if you got 3 kids, that's like $3,600. It ain't cheap. Surprise expenses are now 58% of Americans that are saying that the unexpected $1,000 bill would be a major problem. 37% would have to borrow or use credit cards to cover it. And what do we mean by surprise expenses? Surprise expenses is having to do major repairs on the car, replace the car, major repairs on the house, braces, crutches, casts, wheelchairs, kids getting hurt, unexpectedly breaking bones, medical bills, animal hospital bills, surgery for the pet, stuff like that. These are like unexpected, like things happen in life, and then all of a sudden, like you got this like $1,000 or more bill that came out of nowhere that you got to cover. Yeah. Most people would have to borrow or use credit to cover it. Now, I want you guys to jump into the chat. What's your biggest monthly expense right now? Because y'all watch me from all over the world. What is your biggest monthly expense? Is it rent, food, utilities, childcare, or something else? I want you guys to let me know. Because I can tell you right now, one of the largest expenses that I have had to deal with would be rent or mortgage. Not too many people think about that. A lot of us fail to understand that the household, the cost of the house typically is the most expensive thing that hits most people. But some people come to find that when they're juggling their bills, they come to find that, damn, I'm paying more than the cost of the house to pay for the car or to pay for utilities or subscriptions or something to that effect. But let's see which category is hurting you the most. While we wait on you guys to throw your comments in there, the stress factor is the other thing that comes with this. Money and relationships lead to areas of stress that we typically ignore. It's not just about the numbers. According to the American Psychological Association, 74% of adults say money is a significant source of stress in 2025, the highest level since 2008. And the consequences go beyond anxiety. Money fights are now the second leading cause of divorce in the US, right after infidelity. Ramsey Solutions gave us this report from 2024. 43% of couples admit to arguing about money at least once a month. Nearly 1 in 4 couples keep financial secrets from each other. That report came from creditcards.com in 2024. 31% of divorces cite financial infidelity as a key factor. Now, financial infidelity is not paying for adult entertainment. Financial infidelity is taking money out of the relationship and spending it on something that does not benefit the relationship. That could be a second house that nobody knows about, a new car that nobody knows about. That could be a vacation that nobody else knows about. That could be retirement funds that nobody else knows about. These are things that are considered financial infidelity. Spending money that your partner does not know about. For example, those women that encourage each other to do the escape fund. Nothing against it. The way that I was telling you guys about building a trust and making it an irrevocable trust is better than doing an escape fund, because if both parties are aware of the existence of it and both parties benefit from it, and it is irrevocable, even if you've got to run from a situation, you got a guaranteed check. And when times were good, the situation was paying. And when times are bad, you get out and you got a residual income. But back in the day, before people knew about that, taking a little bit of money here and there that your partner's not going to miss, quote unquote, and then putting it into a different bank account so that if the relationship goes south, you've got a little bit of a nest egg that you can utilize to get on your feet, to get out of this relationship. That's what they say. That's what they used to teach back in the day for women in abusive relationships. Now, I'm not saying don't do it. I'm not saying don't build a nest egg. I'm saying that you should be able to find a more appropriate partner where you can establish a more appropriate financial background, so that if you do have to part, you still have that financial stability, but you don't have to worry about your partner siphoning your money out of your bank account, or your partner doesn't have to worry about you siphoning money out of their bank account, because as adults, we're supposed to be able to part ways as adults. Now, considering the fact that in a relationship, whether it's healthy or not, if one person is taking money out of the account and relocating it somewhere else without the knowledge of the other person, because it's community property, is technically not stealing, but technically you're unethically relocating money without your partner's knowledge or consent. And that is where financial infidelity comes from. Something as simple as moving it to an account that your partner knows nothing about, that has no access to, where money is just gone. They can't account for the missing money, but they have to readjust finances because money keeps coming up missing. But they don't say anything about the fact that money keeps coming up missing. Or when they do say something about it, y'all argue about it until it doesn't get resolved, but the money keeps coming up missing. That type of scenario is financial infidelity. And as a key factor, understand that this is a heavy scenario that leads to divorce, where the Institute of Divorce Financial Analysts in 2024 made this particular discovery. So I'm just going to tell y'all probably should stop doing it like that. Y'all should build up a family trust, make each person a 50-50 receiver, and set it up where the trust is actually something that can grow on its own. Set it up where 40% of the money put into the trust is split between the two beneficiaries. That way you and your partner is getting some money, so they're not going to bitch about it. The other 60% gets reinvested into the trust, where the trust can grow. Even if it's growing slow, it's going to have a 60% reinvestment where both parties can still get something out of the deal. If you're putting a bunch of money into this trust over time, the trust will work its way up to a scenario where it will be self-sustainable. And I mean, if it's a one direction trust where you put the money in it, the trust turns a profit, that profit goes to you, that's going to be a taxable income. But you don't really have to worry about that at the moment. What you need to worry about is that if you're honestly putting the money in a specific location where it can grow, and you set it up where you and your partner can get a cut out of that. Your partner's primarily taking care of the standard of living. You're primarily taking care of this trust. That is your backup plan. Because if y'all break up, you still get 20% of what you put in there for the rest of your life. The relationship is over, but you're still getting money out of that. So it's not a loss. Now, most people want to part ways and terminate everything that they put together. I don't want them to get nothing. But bro, it's the cost of doing business. If you live for free and you was able to put a few $100,000 away over the years, and now you're getting $10,000, $20,000 a year back off of that relationship, that's money that you're going to continue to get back off of that relationship that you don't have to do nothing else to. And if you did that for each relationship that you have invested your livelihood into, for those individuals that's had 5 or 10 or 20 different bad relationships over the past 20 years, and you have established a trust with each bad relationship where that trust became an irrevocable trust before the relationship dissolved itself, you would be able to squash the fact that 20 years of bad relationships, you still have 5 or 10 different trusts with a few $100,000 in each one over the course of 20 years, where you should be making 50,000 between all of the trusts that you've created through all the relationships that you've had. Which means that by the time you reach the non-dateable age, you've got enough exes that you're getting residual checks from. You don't got to work. And if you find somebody this time, it's not about their income, but you can then take whatever it's giving you from the last relationship and put it into the trust of the next relationship. and build that trust up even faster, so that the last trust that you have is paying out the most. Think about that. Now, 60% of millennials and Gen Zs say financial stress has affected their mental health or sleep in the past year. So, who here has ever had to choose between paying a bill or buying groceries? I have not been there yet. Or here's another question. Had a money fight with your partner occurred recently? If so, you're not alone. Let's talk about how we can change that dynamic. Now, are you ignoring these financial red flags? Let's break down the top financial warning signs in relationships based on the latest research and real life stories. Clashing spending habits. Now, are you a saver and your partner a spender? Because 36% of couples say this is their number one financial challenge. If you're trying to put money away, and the more money that you put away, the more money somebody else spends, it makes it harder for you to save. Because if you've got a limited quantity of capital, ladies, fellas got a limited quantity of capital, and there is only so much that can go, and you want to go do something fun, and it's expensive. Each time you go do something fun and expensive and entertaining to you, you have to understand that comes out of the savings. Now, while yes, you're supposed to be able to live life and enjoy life throughout life, at the end of the day, your later years are more important than your earlier years, because while you're young, you're more energetic, you're more agile, you're able to get out there and get more stuff done. When you're older, you're less capable, which means that you want to make sure that you have more of a financial background to fall back on, so that when you can't do something, you don't have to. When your physical capabilities goes below self-sufficiency, you can pay other people to do it for you. If in the event that you need in-home nurses and this, that, and the third, these are things that you have to consider. And if it's not covered under your insurance, depending on what kind of insurance you have, you can't afford that. And that's where the difficulty and changes need to be made. Couples with mismatched spending habits are twice as likely to report frequent arguments, because as every time you're trying to save for something, if you're trying to save for a house or save for a car, and then your partner takes and goes and buys something ridiculous like tinted windows and 32-inch rims with spinners on them and a 50-inch subwoofer, so that they can get a bunch of traffic tickets for noise pollution, loud exhaust pipes, so that they can get pulled over for noise pollution, a car impounded for being at that drag meet. So now you got to buy another car because they crushed it. These are the type of things that cause fights in a relationship. This is stuff that's happened to folks over the past few years since the show started. We was talking about how everybody whose mama bought them a Hellcat, and they was out there acting ass in Walmart parking lot in California. Police came and took 150 cars and crushed all them Hellcats, and then ticketed everybody and everything else under the sun, took everybody's driver's licenses and everything else under the sun. You had to go to court and prove that you wasn't part of the event in order to get your car back. They took everybody's car. And that's why I tell y'all, when y'all go somewhere, don't park at the event. Park like 5 blocks down the road from the event, where legally you're not within the reasonable area of the event, because they can't tow the whole neighborhood, but they can tow every car in the parking lot. If you're 5 blocks away from the parking lot, it's still walking distance, but your car is far enough away from the situation where they can't come get you. You just got to not park your car in a no parking zone. We used to do that when we went out to the club. Instead of us going and parking in the club parking lot, we would park in a nearby neighborhood that did not have parking restrictions, or park in an alley or something like that that didn't have parking restrictions. We didn't care if the car got took, because the car, it was an old school car, so it didn't matter if something happened to the car. And we only thing we had of value in the car was alcohol in the trunk. So if any event that something happened, I mean, we wasn't out on nothing, because all we had was in our pocket when we walked out there. So nothing of value to be lost. We just parked the car. So and it was better for us, because instead of us paying for parking, paying for somebody to park the car, or paying for a VIP to park the car in front of the door, we legit just parked the car like way down the street, which turns out to be beneficial, because when you park the car by the door and somebody gets thrown out, they get thrown out on top of your car. When you park the car by the door and somebody staggers out of the club and they start throwing up, they might throw up on your car. So if you're way down the street from the event, your car is safer than what it would be if it was right next to the activity. Now, here goes another thing: hidden debts. Not a lot of relationships talks about debts going into it. But once you start committing to one another, start moving into one another's households, and start trying to pool your money together to make ends meet, hidden debts become an issue. You're ashamed or afraid of telling your partner that you have expenses. Like, if a hidden debt isn't necessarily like a student loan or something like that. A hidden debt is like you got your third traffic ticket this week and you just don't want to tell your partner. You know what I'm saying? You hide the traffic ticket. That's hidden debts. Hidden debt is if you got a parking ticket where you put the car where it wasn't supposed to be and you just hid that. You don't say anything and try to cover that. That's hidden debts. Hidden debts is, buying something that came with extra cost to it. Hotel fees or extra parking fees or extra amenity fees that nobody knew about, and you just kind of covered it and didn't say anything about it. That's hidden debt. That's in addition to like actual massive debt, like unpaid credit cards, charged off bank accounts, medical health bills, in collections, and all this other stuff that is negatively impacting your ability to succeed. That all of that is there. Now, hidden debts attribute 22% of Americans that have admitted that hiding a bank account or debt from their partner, where the average undisclosed debt is now over $12,000. The lack of transparency. If your partner dodges money talks or gets defensive, this is a big red flag. Those people say, I don't need to know how much money I got. Red flag. Red flag. When they say, oh, well, he's just trying to count how much money you got so he can use you. Red flag. Red flag. The same way she should know how much money he got in his pocket, he should know how much money she got in her pocket. Specifically because if you're partners and you're working together on this situation, he should not want you to run out of money to get the things that you need. And you should make sure that he should not run out of money because he's spending all his money on getting you all the things that you need. You can't ride around in the car if you ain't willing to keep gas in it. Think about it now. You got to know how much gas is in the tank before you take the car. It ain't your car. But if that somebody run out of gas, somebody's got to put gas in it. We're not in Dubai. They're not going to bring gas to you. You feel me? But only 38% of couples say they're completely transparent about money. So some couples are partially transparent, where they will tell how much money they're willing to invest in a relationship. They're not willing to talk about how much money that they have that they're not willing to invest in a relationship, or how much resources they have access to that they're not willing to invest in a relationship, but they're willing to say how much they've got to contribute to the relationship. So not fully transparent, but still, opaque, to say the least. Another issue that you guys got is separate accounts without a clear reason. Secrecy or unexplained separation can signal trust issues, because couples who keep finances totally separate are 3 times more likely to report trust issues, specifically because if we're in this together, why are you keeping yours separate from mine? Because we're spending mine, and that's going to be an issue. We also have one-sided financial control. If one person controls all of the money, regardless of who makes the money, if one person decides where all the money goes, it creates a power imbalance. If both people are putting their money in reasonably balanced, and one person is making all of the decisions with everybody's money, that starts a power dynamic. Financial control is a key warning sign of financial abuse, which affects 1 in 6 Americans at some point in their lives. Now, if you're in a relationship where one person primarily controls what's going on, but they are flexible about their decision-making process, where when you want and or need something, all you have to do is mention it, and they will make sure that within reason you get what you want and you get what you need. But if any event that it is outside of the budget, they can explain to you why that's not possible at this moment, but they can work towards getting what you want and getting what you need by putting a little bit of money aside and adding that to the budget. That still gives you the ability to get what you want and allows that person to primarily control what's going on, but just follow with no input, that causes conflicts. Now, we have real life stories, like a couple I knew seemed perfect until after the wedding, and it's usually when everything goes south. One partner revealed over $30,000 in undisclosed credit card debt. The other partner felt blindsided and betrayed. It took years of honest conversations and hard work to rebuild trust and get their finances back on track. And truth be told, this typically happens where that $30,000 of undisclosed credit card debt is how much money the man paid on the wedding. But unfortunately, he wasn't talking about how he couldn't afford that. He was always saying, whatever you need, baby, I got it. And I got to tell you, we can't all be T.I. We ain't got that Nick Cannon money. You can't have it the way, whatever you like. It ain't going to go down that way, because at the end of the day, who's charging it to the Underhills? Me? Not I, said the black guy. It's rare. But the odds are that if you are forthcoming with the fact that you don't got it like that, it is less likely that you are going to be experiencing situations where people believe that you got it like that and then assume that you can do more than what you're capable of. But 1 in 5 newlyweds discover a major financial secret within the first year of marriage. And this is typically because those of us that are going through financial struggles don't talk about financial struggles during the dating phase, because that's a turnoff. We don't talk about personal struggles in the beginning, because that's a turnoff. We don't talk about personal habits, awkward quirks, or anything to that effect that might be a deterrent to the person. Then, as the relationship progresses, we forget about it because it never comes up. Then the marriage happens. And if they have not started living together, now that they are living together, now you can't hide it. Now the quirks are there. Now the actions and behaviors are there. Now the debt is visible, and now they have to address it. If you don't catch it before the marriage, you catch it after, because they can't hide it. Y'all together forever. So eventually it comes up. Notice within the first year. So you might have gotten married, and 12 months after the marriage, you find out he can't hide it no more. There's just too much going on. Now, drop some a money logo in the chat if you've ever avoided money talks with your partner, or if you faced financial red flags. And if you have, I want you guys to share your story. I want to hear what y'all got going on in y'all's relationships, because this is something that happens to a lot of us, and not all of us really pay attention to what we're going to do about it. But note, if I ever talk about something on this show, you know that we're going to talk about it. We're going to come up with some solutions. We're going to brainstorm. We're going to find a way to make this just a little less uncomfortable for those of us who did not know how to address the situation. You can also give us a story anonymously if you like. Tell us about somebody else. Hypothetically, you had a friend. I don't care. The story is still the story. Now, let's get on these strategies to slash expenses and strengthen relationships. So here's what we're going to do. And I want you guys to try this too. Track every dollar. People who track spending save an average of 15% more. There's apps like Mint, YNAB, and Rocket Money that are fintech apps that can help you with doing this. Not necessarily free apps, but they do have some free features on there that you could benefit from. Me personally, I have used apps like Clio because it's a credit reporting situation. Nothing gets paid if it doesn't go through that. Outside of things that come directly out of the bank account, you can micromanage by limiting the things that you're going to authorize payment for, turning off auto pay on a lot of stuff, updating all of your credit cards so that anything that you weren't aware of will not automatically get charged because you no longer have that credit card if you replace your credit cards and debit cards. This is ways like basically also, here's another thing. It helps you with micromanaging. And this is something that you can do for free that doesn't rely on any other costly app or membership or anything to that effect. Activate transactional notifications on your online banking account. It will give you a text message every time your account gets charged. Tells you the amount that got charged and more often than not where the charge came from, which allows you to go into your online bank account and get more details about the transaction. You should be able to, over the course of 30 days, confirm any monthly reoccurring charges that are occurring on your account. Now, by recognizing all of this, you can cut the non-essentials. Americans spend an average of $225 a month on subscription services in 2025. That's Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, all kinds of I can't think of all the rest of them. HBO Go, all these other, and you're not even using all of them, right? I pay for Netflix. It's $25 a month, but I watch Netflix every day. I turn it on before I go to bed every day. So like to say that I'm technically using it for 30 days out of a month and I'm paying $25, that's $1 a day, almost 75, 80 cents a day for every day that I'm using it. That actually is somewhat of an entertainment style benefit. But when you look at the cost of $25 membership here, $10 membership here, $15 membership here, $30 membership there, and it's adding up, and you're not using most of those things. And for those of you who got gamer subscriptions, because that's usually where a lot of the money goes, because you've got a PlayStation or an Xbox, you're paying for Xbox Live or PlayStation Live, you're paying for the subscriptions for some of the games, but you work too much to go and play that game, but it charges you every month for the subscription. You're racking up a bunch of experience points on the game, so when you do get a day off, you can just charge it to the game. But the fact is that you're spending a lot of money on that, and you're not even benefiting from it. How many do you actually use? Think about that real quick. And then the ones that you don't use on a regular basis, cut them off. Now you can negotiate bills. 62% of people who call their provider get a better deal. It doesn't matter if they just give you a discount of some sort once a month, or if they shave off some of the services that you're not utilizing to reduce your bill. Something can happen where they can reduce your bill. You just got to ask them. I ask them every month. I got to call them tomorrow. I ain't even trying to cap. I gotta call them tomorrow. Oh, hold on. This one right here is gonna be one. I gotta share this with y'all real quick, because cooking at home leads us to the Fit Chef recipes that we've been doing. And actually, I took advantage of that. I actually made a show about that just earlier today or yesterday or something like that, where I made the enchiladas last month, and then after I made the enchiladas, I made some burritos with the same recipe, and then after that there was quesadillas, and all of this stuff came into effect. I do believe I spent a good $200. That's it, and that was for the whole month. And it covered the whole month. I still got a pack of chicken left off of it, because I had spent $170 at first, and then after I spent the $170, I spent another $30 on. No, I spent $150 at first, and then I spent $20, and then I spent another $30, because I had bought all the ingredients. I bought a bunch of ingredients, and then after I bought a bunch of ingredients, then after that I had bought some replacement ingredients for the stuff that I ran out, like the corn and the tomatoes and vegetables and stuff like that. So I was able to re-up on some of the things. Then I said, oh, I want to try the milkshake thing. So I did the milkshake thing, and I spent the extra $20 on it. So over the course of 30 days from the day that I first started using the Fit Chef thing until today, where I still have half a pack of chicken left and a half a pack of bacon. So if I wanted to add another $20 to the mix and buy some of the ingredients that I'm missing, I can go. I still got the tortillas and everything like that. I can actually buy some of the ingredients that I'm missing, or just use whatever I have left, because I still got cheese and everything like that, and just make some more chicken quesadillas out of the last 3 or 4 pieces of chicken, which would leave me with probably, I made almost 20 enchiladas the first time off of the first 3 pieces of chicken. I turned around and made another 20. No, I made 8 burritos out of the second 3 pieces of chicken. And then the third 3 pieces of chicken, I made another I want to say 8 more burritos. And now I've got the quesadillas that I can be making, where I could probably make another 10 or 15 quesadillas. And I'm sitting over here thinking, oh, dip, off of that $200. That's golden right there. Because a lot of people spend like $500+ on groceries. So if I'm looking at feeding 2 people, that's $400 a month. So you can click that Fish Chef link, and you can go ahead and take a look at whether or not you can save money on your budget too. But the average restaurant meal, depending on where you're going, is looking at about $14.25, while a home cooked meal is just $4.25. And that's a pretty good estimation, because when we calculated those enchiladas were like $3.75 a piece, based on the quantity of ingredients that I had bought. And then when you spread that across 30 whole days and 5 or 6 meals, you're looking at, only spending $10 a day to eat, which is still like closer to $300 a month, which is less than going out to dinner and you're eating more often. Because if you went out to dinner and you're only eating once a day at $14.25 a day, versus being able to eat 3 or 4 times that day for the same amount of money, it's like, you want to have more energy and nutrients in your body and be able to make things work. Now, roommates are a thing. Splitting rent and utilities can save you money. The Mexicans showed us that before they got kicked out of the country. $900 per month in many cities, where you cutting everything in half. So instead of you paying $2,000 a month, you could split that and both of y'all pay less than $1,000 a month. If you got a 3-bedroom, you can split that 3 ways, and each one of y'all is paying like $600, $750 a month. And that means that each one of y'all has more money in your pocket, which gives you the ability to consolidate and improve. Now, side hustles is another way to do it. 41% of Americans now have a side gig, in extra $220 per month that can make a big difference. And that $220 per month, I told y'all, if y'all follow my lead and y'all taking and going invested into stocks and bonds and stuff, y'all follow that cash dividend, the dividend capture, dividend rotation method that I talked to you guys a couple of weeks ago, that $220 per month could essentially increase your ability to gain extra capital over time, because you will be adding to the principal. Instead of the model that we had where we're just rotating $1,000 around, you are adding $220 to the principal every month, plus the dividends distributed every month, and you're rotating that around every month, which is going to put a lot more in your pocket. And that's not something that a lot of people can roll the dice on. So you should be able to give that a shot, because that'll turn your, over 10 months, that would be $2,200, and rotating that money over 10 months would turn that $2,200 into like $5,000. So it's not a lot of money in comparison to, but when you start adding more money to the stock, getting more money back from the stock starts paying for the standard of living, where you could take the whole paycheck and put it on the stock, or vice versa. You have the ability to double, triple, quadruple your money. And that's where the big difference comes from. So have the money talk. It's like the birds and the bees conversation. You might as well just sit down and talk to your partner about where the money is right now, how much you got, how much you need, how much you're spending, what's the budget look like, so that everybody knows where everything's at right now. What's the total gross capital you guys got put away, if you got anything put away, and make that make sense. You want to set aside time to discuss your financial histories and goals and your spending habits specifically. Be transparent. Share the debt, no matter how embarrassing it is. Bankruptcy, probation, DUI school, whatever it is, talk about it. Your assets and your spending habits, and be honest about it, ladies, because if y'all know where y'all are and y'all know where y'all want to be, y'all can better negotiate how to get there. Okay? Create a budget together. Not just I'm going to do my thing and then I'm going to let you know when I need something. Create a budget together. Couples who budget together report higher satisfaction and lower stress, specifically because if you're both in agreement to it, there's no reason why you're not going to follow it. In fact, couples with joint financial goals are 70% more likely to say they're very happy in their relationship, as opposed to those that say that they're reasonably content. Now, what's one expense you could cut this week? Or what's your best tip for having an honest money talk with your partner? I want you guys to take a look at that and give me your comments in the comment section, because that is some good questions to ask. What is the thing that you guys find as the most expensive thing you had to pay for? Was it your car insurance? I know I had a buddy of mine whose car insurance was like $2,500 for 1 month. I was like, bro, what the hell? How do you get your car insurance so high? Well, during that last hurricane that happened last year, my buddy wasn't paying his car insurance on time in full, and they was rolling over his payments. Instead of setting him up for cancellation, they just rolled over his payments. Then when it came time for renewal, he had to pay the back pay for the policy, and he had to pay for the down payment for the renewal of the policy at the same time. So he was 3 months behind, and on his 4th month, he has to pay for next 6 months. I was like, bro, that's too much money. And one of the main reasons why his insurance was so high was because his homeboy had a Hellcat. I was like, hell nah. My car costs less than $100 a month. That guy's car costs like $500 a month. Your 3/4 of your insurance policy is your homeboy's car. That's bullshit. And you're paying more than half? That's bullshit. I'm not down for that. And I'm gonna be real, I'm not down for that. So if what am I getting out of the deal? That's the question. What am I getting out of the deal? That was the thing. But if you guys, once I see the best comment in the comment section, I'll definitely post that back up onto the show. But here is one that you guys are going to love. There's an unorthodox saving strategy. And this is going to be one that not too many people have thought about using. The no spin color wheel. Now, if you try tracking every dollar, cutting subscriptions, and even negotiating your bills, let's shake things up a bit with an unorthodox saving hack that you've probably haven't heard of before. The no spin color wheel challenge. How this works is you create a color wheel, draw or print a simple color wheel with 7 to 10 different colors. Each color represents a spending category. Think groceries, takeout, clothing, entertainment, transportation, tech gadgets, etc. Assign no spend days. Now, I know that they got some folks out there with some life hacks. And yeah, well, you ain't gonna spend it today, but we buy that shit tomorrow kind of shit. You could change this up to be a no spend month if applicable. Each day, spin the wheel or use a random color picker app, because that's even better. That gives you more neutral results. Whatever color you land on, that's the category you're not allowed to spend any money on for the next 24 hours. Now, for those people who only go shopping once a month, you might have to set this up as a no spend month, where outside of bare necessities, anything that you land on this month, you're not buying that this month. Gamify your savings. Keep score. Each successful no spend day earns you points. Challenge your partner, family members, friends, your kids to join in and see who can rack up the most points in a month. Or if you're doing this as a monthly activity where it's a no spend month and you're trying to see how many months you guys can rack up points, you want to track surprises. At the end of the month, tally up what you would have spent in those categories and transfer that amount straight into savings. Now, that is a big difference. Why does it work? If it breaks habits, forces you to pause and rethink routine purchases, like buying a bunch of shit on Amazon, you should be able to find a way to relocate that capital to something more beneficial. I told you guys before, if you normally would spend $250 a week going to the club or $150 a week buying drinks and drinking beers at the house, or $200 a month on cigarettes, and you quit smoking and take that $200 a month and put it towards something else, you're still spending the money, but you're putting it on something that's going to make money for you. Make saving fun. Turn budgeting into a game, not a chore. Build awareness. You'll quickly spot your weak spots. Maybe it's daily coffee runs or impulse online shopping. This is great for couples because if you try it together and talk about which no spend days were hardest, instant money conservations. And this is going to be a huge conversation starter. Listeners who've tried this challenge report savings 10 to 20% more than with traditional budgeting in just 1 month. Plus, they say it's a great way to get kids and parents involved. Because think about this. If you're taking a lot of this money and putting it up in savings for the kids, when it comes down time to get the kids stuff for Christmas, you've got Christmas money. Instead of $5,000 on Fortnite, it's $5,000 in savings. Now you can get your kid a PS5 or the new GTA 6. And then they're happy, you're happy, we're all happy. Who's brave enough to try the no spin color wheel challenge this week? Spin the wheel, share your category, and let us know how it goes. If you invent your own twist, I want you to tell us in the chat. Because just like I said, instead of doing, because I know people who are good at flexing on the rules. They might be the kind of person that might be impulsive enough to spend money this month, but not specifically spend it on a specific day. So you might say no Amazon purchases today. They're not going to buy it today. They'll buy it tomorrow, but they still bought it. So you didn't save any money. You just delayed the purchase. So I would say with certain individuals that have poor spending habits where they have monthly spending habits, I would say no Amazon purchases this month. And that puts a strain on the spending behavior of a person who otherwise would buy from Amazon 5 or 6 times out of a month. Now, truth, since I tell you guys on a regular basis how cheap stocks get from time to time and how crazy things are becoming with the stock options, and how as little as $7 a share, you can get a bunch of shares with the quantity of money it takes for you to waste on frivolous things. And then those shares could throw you back money every month. And that money you could be spending on frivolous things and still have the principal coming in where you're not spending your hard-earned profit from your job on frivolous spending. You would be using the profits from your investments. So that if you're not spending money on your investments, you still got extra money coming in because you're not spending the principal, you're spending the interest off the principal. Once I started changing that mentality, I stopped buying stuff. If I could not find a daily use for it, if I could not find myself knocking back that particular item on a regular basis, at least weekly, if not 3 or 4 times a week, if I could not find myself accessing that, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. You got multiple cars in the yard and you won't drive one. All the rest of them don't have insurance on them. If I got to turn plates in, we're turning plates in, but all the rest of them don't have insurance on them. Matter of fact, if you've got one license plate and 5 cars that are unregistered, it only costs like $10 to transfer the registration from one vehicle to the next. And then it's free to transfer the insurance from one vehicle to the next, adding one vehicle and taking another vehicle off. So if you've got more than one vehicle and you're only using one at a time, and I mean like one car is being turned on per month, then shit, the other one should be with a car cover on it, sitting somewhere off in the cut where nobody's going to mess with it. And whenever you get ready to go get that bad boy and pull it out for its first turnaround, you're charging up the battery, you're putting air in the tires, you're dusting off the seats and That's when you add the insurance on that son bitch and go put the license plate on it and take that one for a spin. You typically should trade cars out when you drop one car off at the mechanic shop. Take the plates off that son bitch. Take the plates off that son bitch. And then put it on the other car. And then drive the other car. So they can keep that car in the shop for the next 2 months. That's still your car. As long as you pay them for the work, that's still your car. You come get it when you come get it. Then if you're going to go back to driving a car that was in the shop, you park the one that was parked and go get the one that was in the shop and put the plates on the one that was at the shop. The difference is that you only have one registered vehicle at a time. You're not paying $300, $500, $700 a month on 5 cars. You're only paying whatever you're going to pay for the one car. And if you've got backups, you don't have to rush and put the broke car in the shop right away. If the broke car broke and you've got a backup car on the back end, you literally could just swap plates, park the broke car, and take the non-broke car and use that one. Because if you own it, you can fix it whenever you feel like it. So these are things that you guys can take into account. Now, I want to know, are you ready to make saving money unpredictable and a lot more fun? Because if you are, I want you to give the color wheel challenge a spin. Managing living expenses and your financial relationship isn't just about sacrifices. It's about making smarter choices, building trust, and taking control. If you've got a killer tip for saving money and a story about financial red flag, share it in the chat. If you found this episode helpful, I know that y'all seen me do it right before the show. I want you guys to check out the upcoming video that we're going to be having on the 7 budgeting hacks that actually work. Now, don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with your friends and people who could use some of the financial freedom information or relationship reality checks that we provide to you guys on the show. And let's do this together. Can I cut my expenses in half? Because the biggest question is, can you? And are you ready to spot those relationship red flags before it's too late, before it gets too serious, before it becomes too problematic? Stay tuned for updates all month long. Now, what's your biggest money saving win or your biggest financial red flag story? Let's inspire each other and support each other and keep this conversation going. With that being said, I want you guys to remember, I'm going to be giving you guys weekly updates as to what's going on with the dividend rotation fund. You guys are going to also be able to follow us with the sector rotation when we start getting into sector rotations. We will keep track of these investment opportunities and try to build capital along the way, and you will be able to see how beneficial this turns out to be over the long haul. I'll be able to tell you the gains over the months. And I'm doing a strategy a little bit different than what was recommended, specifically because I see where some can be divided and some can be combined, and there are some that correspond with others. And if I want to hit each one, I've got to put some in some places and some in the other places. And I understand that recognizing the difference between what I could got versus what I did get is going to be the difference between a loss in comparison to the potential gain versus just getting a gain. But the first month that you do it is a learning curve. The second month that you do it is going to be the overall benefit. Because if you realize that you bought in too soon to, say, Orchid Island, and you might have needed to wait till like the 23rd of the month and then buy in when it actually dips down to its lowest, then wait that wait, and then buy in on like the 26th, 23rd, 24th. And then when you buy in a week before the end of the month, that's when it's at its lowest. And then you can experience that 22 cents a share increase when it rises all the way back up. You have to understand that some of these stocks are going to keep going down as a result of the ongoing usage of the tariffs. So some of these things are going to continue to plummet. If they're taking that much of a dip, then it's up to you to decide, are you going to buy and hold, or are you going to take that loss? Now, if you're going to buy and hold, buy and hold. But if you're doing a dividend rotation strategy, you're going to have to take some loss somewhere so that you can rotate the capital. Because technically, when you're looking at stocks, you don't have to sell on the day that I tell you to sell. You could just sell when it is beneficial to you, but before you need to buy into something else. In case you didn't know, as long as you've got it where you can put it where you need it to be, that's when you succeed. So if it can get back up to if it goes from the $6.89 that it is right now and get back up to maybe $7.20, and when it gets back up to $7.20, run from it because it'll be 8 cents more than what it was when we bought into it. Hey, still good. Still good. Now, I want you guys to make sure that you guys like and subscribe because we got back-to-back shows coming up. Y'all see some of the episodes already on the show, and y'all see some of the because we're gonna be putting up some more shows for the rest of the week because I still got to put up Wednesday, and after I put up Wednesday, we got to see what I still got to put up Sunday as well. So the most of the week is up there because we've got Saturday up there, Monday and Tuesday up there. So when I put up Sunday and Wednesday up there, you can literally just hit the notification button and follow those shows. If you're watching us on Twitch, because I see you guys watching us on Twitch, it tells you that every day we started about the same time. Swing around and take a look because we don't always start exactly at the top of the hour. I'm gonna have to go into Twitch and adjust the time slot and maybe swing it to like half past the hour so that you guys are diving in during the show, not showing up before the show wondering where the show went, because we still went live that day. We just didn't start yet. We don't let the sun rise without going live, but we don't always start the live on time. So make sure that you guys keep coming back and taking a look. You can hover around and take a look at us on Twitch. So for those of you that are watching us on Twitch, you can also come and hover and watch us on Twitter X. You guys just see the show up there. I have not found the scheduled releases. I just know that when it goes live, it just says that the show is live. So I have not seen the platform display that there are upcoming shows scheduled on Twitter. But YouTube, if you go to YouTube and you subscribe to the channel and then use that notification button for any show that you're really interested in hearing, it will give you a push notification and let you know that the show's gone live. And then you can just log in through Twitch or Twitter and watch the show from there. So you still don't miss it, and you can watch it from your favorite platform at the same time. That's the best of both worlds, because all I care about is sharing the information with you. So as long as you have the ability to get the knowledge and information, you can apply that to your own benefit. With that being said, ladies, I'm going to ask y'all, as long as the situation doesn't make sense, I'm going to keep asking y'all to make it make sense. So ladies, please make it make sense. And fellas, we're about 74% followership. This is a male-driven podcast from the male's perspective. But ladies, y'all can come here and learn ways to make yourselves better and more efficient for yourselves as well as your relationships, because being a partner in developing a codependent relationship is one of the best ways to be successful in a relationship where you guys can depend on one another, not because you have to, but because you choose to. And that is the foundation for a longer lasting and more beneficial relationship. So I want to thank you guys for coming to This and That. I'm your host, Xander, where we talk about this, that, and everything in between. And I will see you guys tomorrow night. Oh, and any comments that you guys put onto the show during the outro, they will be seen up there in the comment section. Have a good night.
company-wide. Surround yourself with eagles, not with sheep in disguise. Every interaction is a reflection of my brand. Quality over quantity, that's my personal command.